So welcome friends once again. We will commence our session today. Om Shri Gurubhyo Paramagurubhyo Srimadanandatirtha Bhagavatpadacharyo Namo Namah. Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodayasthititolaya Niyati Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidataya Namo Namaste. Yo Vipralimba Viparita Madhiprabhudan Vadan Nirasya Kritavan Bhuvitattvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Anandatirtha Munivaryam Namami Pujyaya Rahavendraya Satya Dharma Rataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrakshaya Namatam Kamadhenave Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mandukya Upanishadaha Shanti Pataha. Om Badram Karnebhi Shruniyama Devaha Badram Pasyema Kshamirya Jatraha Sthirairangai Stutuvang Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vrudrashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti na Ksharyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati Datatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends once again to our Mandukya Upanishad. We are in the third kanda. And the third kanda, so far we have seen the entire all the three states, avasthatraya they call it, because Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana and Sushupta Sthana. And Turiya we have seen in the kanda number 2 in detail. In the third kanda, it is coming into the mechanics of explaining, what is the constituents of this entire Om, that is A, U, Ma. So we have seen A, U, and we have seen to some extent the Ma, that is the Ma Akshara. What is the significance of it? We will be seeing the component of all the three Aksharas together, and the significance, how it is going to be helpful in understanding the entire Om. Om is Adhyaksharam. That's what Adhyaksharam, in the sense it is the prima donna of all the letters, everything together, mystic syllable, beginning, everything and all. It denotes as good as that of the Brahman. It is Brahman as it is. That's why it becomes very important, and it is the first syllable. From there everything has emanated into the Sanatana Dharma. That's what we have seen. So Om, when we have seen, we have said, we have got the component of the three letters and all, plus Nada. Avu Ma, Nada represents Turiya. If you really see, the Om has got, it has got the 8 components. So if you really see the components of Nada also together, it is the 8 components. The 8 components are the Avu Ma Nada. A represents Jagrata Sthana, U represents the Swapna Sthana, Ma represents the Sushupta Sthana, deep sleep. And then Nada is the one, finally we said, the Turiya, where the Brahman is available in the form of Nada. The Nada again is consisting of, it's not the vibration, just what we see, it's a mystical vibration. It is a vibration without any sound. It is coming from internally from the being. With the life force is giving that Nada. So the Nada has got, we have seen 4 components: Bindu, Kosha, Shanta, Gosha and Santa, Adishanta. So Nada is made of A, U, Ma, Nada, and Bindu, Kosha, Shanta, Adishanta. All the 8 components together make the Nada. With regard to the Nada and the components, we will see separately in the next, the 4th Kanda is totally devoted only to the Turiya stage and the Nada stage, where that Nada is going to represent what type of sort of a vibration, the highest when we will be getting into what is that vibration, how it is going to be helpful. That's what we will be seeing. And then when we have seen Om as Adhyaksharam, Adhyaksharam is a sense for all Aksharas, it is the A. See, A is, the primal letter in all the languages, be it, Tamil, Telugu, Sanskrit, A in English, anywhere and all. It starts with that. In Sanskrit, there are about 50 letters. In fact, 50 plus 1, 51 letters are there. So, these 51 letters, for all the entire 51 letters, A is supposed to be Adhyakshara. He is supposed to be the prime among all the letters. So, this is what has been taken into. But if you see, all the letters represents the name of the Brahman. In fact, there is a very explanatory words for the Brahman for each letter. In fact, he has got 50 names representing each letters. 51 names he has got. Aja, Ananda, Indra, Isha, Ugra, Urja, Ritumbara, Yuga, Yurusha, Yurushi, Ekatma, Aira, Ujabrutha, Oram, Amtha, Ardhagarda, Kapila, Kapati, Garudasana, Garma, Nasara, Charavanga, Chandogameya, Janardana, Jatiyeti, Nama, Tanki, Talaka, Daraka, Dadri, Natma. Likewise, it goes. And final one, the Cha, one we get Chayam and what we call that is the special letter in Sanskrit. For that, the Cha represents the Narasimha, finally. So, this is the identification of the letters with the qualities and the names of Brahman that has been taken into in our Upanishad and Vedic culture, so that he is part of everything. And again, he represents the time. Time is eternal. We can't transcend the time. What we are trying to do is transcend our being. When we get committed to Turiya, it is eternal, but the Lord has made it possible for us to count within the limited circle for us, the time. That's how we have got 24 hours, and then we have got 24 by 7, 365. All those things we have formulated, but we have also got our own formulation in Sanatana Dharma based on the position of the moon as well as position of the sun we have got. So he represents everything. So we have got the entire our life cycle and our time and space in which we are working. Everything is controlled by him. So this has been taken to a great extent. I say I would request if you can mute your mic, Mr. Padmanabhan and Krishnan sir. If you can mute your mic, I think the echoes may be avoided. So that once it has been taken into account, and this is what finally we count as our entire, not only our life cycle, the time and space in which we are living, everything is controlled by him. So when we have control, this Avu Ma, when this Ma, we will be seeing little more in detail as we go about it. See, Avu Ma has got, because we have seen, in A, see, Apta Samanvaya, Adi Samanvaya, we said, because once you are working on that Jagradasthana, Vaishvanara, who gives you the entire eligibility, and you get the highest attainment of what a human can achieve in his lifetime, compatible to his capacity and compatible to his eligibility, yogyata and capacity. That is very important. See that every one of us has got a yogyata and capacity based on our prarabdha karma, as well as what we are capable of, nichocha bhavam gataha, what we said, what is there in our seed nature. That's what we are trying to do. So in Jagrutasthana, Vaishvanara Yoga, we said, because which we will be discussing, later in Chandogya Upanishad when it comes. In the Vaishvanara Yoga, when you concentrate, on this Vaishvanara and try to do excel yourself in the waking state, in this world when you are living, what we said, you will get all the desires fulfilled and you will not have any more desires. In fact, you will be capable of fulfilling others' desires. You will become someone, who is capable of, someone who can afford to give everything to everyone in the possible way. Either you could be a saint, who can grant boons, or you could be someone, the topmost in organization, or you will be ruling a country, or you will be somewhere in a position, you can dispense with people who are desirous of, because what they need, understanding they need, you will be able to give. That's what we said. So in that, what happens, once once you don't have any desires, once you have reached the highest stage, the Adi Samanvaya and Apti Samanvaya, what is the idea behind that is, by the time you do it, you finally develop something called Jnana Vairagya Siddhyatam. See, whatever we finally try to attain in, what is that Sarvasiddhi Dayakaya? Jnana Vairagya Siddhi Dayakaya. See, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyatam in the sense, Jnana, because of the Jnana, you will not have any desire. That is Vairagya. Vairagya, it comes out of knowledge. The knowledge takes away your desires because you have got everything, rather you are contented, you have got nothing more. But you will just be going about as to what comes about and take it, and what goes out, you just give it and go on. So that is where Jnana Vairagya Siddhartham, when you get it, in that you get it Jagrata Sthana only. It's not that you will have to go into the Kriya, because you become Apti Samanvaya and Adi Samanvaya. That is the greatness of that. Vaishvanara Yoga is supposed to be affording that great quality to all of us. That is what is being considered to be most important in this. And coming to the next Swapnasthana, when we said Tejasa, when you see, what Tejasa is offering you is Utkarshata and Ubhayatvata. He elevates you, and he is also taking away your from bodily contacts and the external world. Both are out. But then you have got your sort of a latent impressions of the mind. It is taking you to the highest level where you can reach. And based on your eligibility, based on your work, and based on your effort, you can become someone, whatever the profession. If you are an engineer, you can reach the pinnacle of it. If you are going to be a structural engineering, you will be doing something like that. And if you are a mathematician, you could reach the level of Ramanujam. So likewise, a scientist, you may be someone, sort of fit enough to be a Nobel laureate. All those things comes through when it comes in Tejasa, because in each of them, the Lord is affording the particular ability to do, because your dreams will be of such a wonderful nature, which you can't imagine, because lot of things which has come about in this world, we say, the sort of demand is the mother of invention, because when people want it, then only the invention takes place in economically. But the demand, because when you imagine something, what you want to do, something what you want to achieve, because you've got such a passion in that, when you go about, achieving lot of things, because we have got, all these lasers, plastics we came. Plastics, of course, it has become a problem. But when it was invented, it was supposed to be the most outstanding innovation of the human being way back in 60s. DuPont invented. At that time, we didn't realize, what is the potential of it to damage the whole world, in terms of climate and all. So when it enabled us, to carry everything, and plastic replaced all the sort of natural packages and natural things and all. It almost came and occupied our life, including you got the textiles made out of the terylene we came, and the polythene came, and everything came, and they're all sort of after cracking, these naphtha, whatever comes out of that, they become a sort of a raw material, and you got all sorts of material, everything came. You can, even today, best part of the automobile is made of plastics, because that's why you are able to reduce the weight and achieve the mileage. And other than engine, most of the part, other than the body, to a great extent, there also they have reduced the gauge of the steel, which is being used, and they have brought it to the optimum limit, so that, the weight is reduced so much, and you are able to achieve the per mile, whatever is the mileage that you can get for per liter, that has been achieved. So these are all the things that is on one side that has happened. On the other side, it has also taken every aspect of our life, and even flora and fauna has gone off. Now we are trying to get rid of this plastics and other synthetic materials. We want to go back to the natural things. So this has happened. Every time when it happens, an innovation happens, you can go on doing it and all. But every innovation, as long as it is within your limits to be sustainable, it goes and takes away everything and all. So for that, everyone need to imagine. Now people are still trying to imagine what are all the ways in which the natural products can be used more effectively and replacing all these synthetic products. That is coming about. Those things are all being done by even the vaccines, even for Omicron is being taken, as a sort of a challenge, and by and large, I think now people are able to get over it, and they are also finding, what are all the ways it could be prevented. So that way, because the things are happening, that is this dream state has got such a powerful force to inculcate the habit of innovating and go to the pinnacle of the highest purpose, for which, humans are designed. We are designed for that. Whether we are that or not, that is to be seen, because that's what it comes about. So once we have come to, that is the part, we coming to the second last part of the Ma. We said the Ma is the Sushupta Sthana, where we have got into that it gives us, this prajna takes us into its own fold. We said, because in the Hridaya Akasha is the Paramatma is residing. Sushmata, in the sort of a very subtle place he is residing. He envelops the entire Jiva into his command in the deep sleep. That is why you don't have any feeling of who you are and what you are and all. You are almost in his command. You are taking into his fold. Mitehe. This is what the last mantra we saw it last week. We will just see that. We see the meaning of that. What is the height? It takes us to that. Then we will come to all the A, U, Ma, and then we will go to the Karika verses, the Brahmadrishtam. There are 9 mantras are there in this Kanda also. We will go, I think, explaining each one, how exactly it means in explaining the greatest letters A, U, Ma. The mantra number 4, it is in your page number 31, I presume, in your document. Sushuptasthanaha pragyo makaras tritiya matraha. Tritiya matra is a third portion. It is a third portion or the third step. Tritiya matraha mitehe. Mitehe in the sense, in the tritiya matra pragya, the pragya, the lord of the deep sleep, Mitehe, it takes you into that. He just envelops you. He just covers you. You are just being taken into his custody till such time you are in sleep. That was a wonderful state. It is as good as, you can say, what you would have got in Turiya, you got almost that, but it's a temporary status. Because again, you will have to come back to this waking world. Mitehe, apite. Apite in the sense it destroys all sorrows. You got nothing to have any sorrows and all, because in essence, it's a pure absence of knowledge, absence of anything. So there is no desire, no wants, nothing. Minoti hava itangum. Minoti hava itangum. In the sense, he meshes, he pervades everything. And once you are into his envelope, you just pervade, because in the contents of all objects of the jivas, he does it. So at that point of time, all of us are equal. Minoti hava, in the sense, the entire sentience, insentience, and everything in this world, they are all being in that state, in the deep sleep state. There is no difference between a dog, tiger, or a cockroach. All of us are same. There is nothing, because we are only in, because the God has taken care of us. We are just into his custody till such time we come out. That is the unison. That shows at that point of time the entire world, within and without, it is his Brahman, who is just taking it through. Therefore, in his capacity, once it is there, all objects, though atomic in size, knows all the objects that exist within the cosmic end. He knows everything and all. Here, the yoga, because coming to this, apinoti minoti hava itangum, sarvam apitischa bhavati. Sarvam apitischa bhavati, in the sense, you take everything into your fold and you are able to, you don't have any sort of even iota of any sorrow or anything like that. You don't have any feeling, you don't have nothing to know about this world or dream or anything like that. You are in such a blissful state. Bhavatina evam vedaha. Sarvamapi sarvamapi apitischa bhavati vedaha. In the sense, once you like Vaishvanara Yoga and Taijasa Yoga, when we said how you are being taken to Ati Samanvaya and Apti Samanvaya in Jagrutasthana, Utkarshata and Ubhayatvatva in Swapnasthana, you are taken because your dreams are of such a high caliber, you are going to go to that. See, another thing we should just remind ourselves. Last week we also covered in the Swapnasthana, once you do the highest, Upasana and Tejasa gives you and all. You get such a knowledge in your lineage, no one will be without the Brahma Vidya. Everyone will be knowledgeable. In the entire lineage of your entire family, once you do the Upasana in Tejasa, Vaishvanara after Vaishvanara, you get Tejasa, everyone will be fully knowledgeable. And everyone will be knowing what is the highest possible life in this world. So you will be Abrahmavit, because that's what we said. There is no one will be Abrahmavit. They were all Brahmavit. They will have the full knowledge of Brahman. Then we saw the mantra number 3 for the purpose of our own. We will just recite it once again. Jagratastano Vaishvanaro Onkara Pratama Matraha. There we have said Adimatva apnoti hamva sarvan kama narischa bhavati evam veda. That is what we saw Jagratastana. When we saw Swapnasthana Tejasa Karsho Dvitiya Matraha Utkarshata Upayatvata Utkarshati Ha Vain Jnana Santatim. In your Santati, in your lineage, no one will be Samanascha Bhavati. Samanascha Bhavati, one word is used, which possibly we couldn't elaborate last week. I just wanted to take it. Samanascha Bhavati, in the sense you will not have any sort of a fear, or you will not have a sort of a, you will be disposed pleasantly towards everyone. You will not be having likes and dislikes. You will not be without any fault. You will be fully equally sort of a pleasantly disposed to everyone. So you will be someone who can arbitrate anything, either within your family, or even if you see some of the judges, the world famous judges. You got world famous judges, some of the names we might have heard. Those who are in the legal profession, they will be knowing more. Some of the judges name like Lord Denning. Lord Denning, was one of the finest judges, in UK. Whatever he has given, the judgment is taken as the most justifiable judgment in any part of the world. There was one Justice Frank Fighter was there in US. Likewise, there are a variety of judges. In our own judges were there. We had H.R. Khanna was there. Dr. B.R. Krishnayar was there. Because they have all created, because they are the one, when they have done Upasana, they will not be having, because to be impartial in giving a judgment is a very, very difficult task. It's not something easy. In our family itself, if you want to settle the dispute, or if you want to be amicably bring the things to them, people must have taken their position. But then, you have to have a sort of a higher elevated mind, to bring the things together and finally bring some sort of a amicable atmosphere in the family. That is possible once you do the Tejasa Upasana. Samanascha Bhavati. That is the highest, because you could be anywhere. You could be across the world. Even if you see the disputes, now alternate dispute mechanism has come, the arbitration. The arbitration you will see, because even if you are appointed as an arbitrator by your own company, you will not be able to give everything in favor of your company, because as an arbitrator you have got an obligation to listen both, and finally you are supposed to give a reasoned order. You will have to give why you are giving this order. Therefore, you will have to take everything into account, and then you will be going by what the justice says. What is the justice to be done? Only thing what you can do is, even if your own company appoints you as an arbitrator, you will be able to reduce the damages. So they may have to pay a very high damages, but you will say the equitable view, okay, because this is what it is, and that is not possibly, you can, the slant will be there. Other than that, you will have to give. So this Tejasa Upasana, those who have done a Tejasa Upasana, none of us do it consciously. All these judges and all, when they are going through and all, they are all once lawyers, or they have been judges in the lower courts. But when they come as a human being, we do our own slant. Our own idiosyncrasies are there. Our own likes and dislikes are there. It will all come about. You might have heard in a particular case, in a Maharashtra, one lady judge, she's not being confirmed because she gave an order, which is not in line with the equitability of the justice. Of course, the case is a little tricky case. She took some very logical stance and she has not gone into the fact and human point of view. So therefore, it is a very great. And apart from that, even in our own daily life, we have to be equitably disposed to everyone. We can't be having ill will to someone and sort of favorites to someone. We can't play favorites. We will have to be balanced. That is possible in Tejasa. That is what Jnana Santatim in our lineage, no one will be without the Brahma knowledge. That's why you will find, because Raghavendra Swami was the great Acharya. And subsequently his great grandson also became Acharya. Because the lineage, if you see, even now, because the people, they are supposed to be in the lineage of so many sort of sages, they are all having that. Likewise, you see the judges, because the present judge, because like Mr. Chandrachud, is the Supreme Court judges. His father was the Chief Justice of the same Supreme Court. Likewise, they are all coming in that, because basically what has happened once you do that, that quality pervades past through your DNA for the generations to come. That is the greatest sort of effect, once you are totally submitting yourself. The self is taken away. Once you submit yourself, this is what it is happening. And this is one thing, and another one is you are very equitable. You don't find any, without any fault, you don't have any ill will to others. You are equitably disposed to everyone. This is the second, because these are all the qualities by giving, because it's not that each pada, Swapnasthana and all, it's not some stage only. In each stage, when you are working on that, the great dreams have come, only during the dream, whether the philosopher or the scientist, all great achievements have come. We have discussed n number of times during this. So that happens. And coming to this Sushuptasthana, when we have come to this Makara, Sushuptasthana Pragyo Makaras Tritiya Matraha Mite Apitenava Minoti Hava Idung. See, once it comes, he pervades. Once you do that, what happens? He pervades past all the sentience and intelligence. What you do, because when you are working on the pragya, when you are working on the Vaishvanara yoga, like Tejasa yoga, when you do the yoga and pragya, Indra is supposed to have done and got the Indrahood after doing all this, the pragya. In pragya is our consciousness, because we are all aware. Pragya is the Bhagavanta. Like Adi Samanvaya, when we said, he is the one who is the ultimate. But for us, Adi Samanvaya is from deep sleep, we come back to waking state, or through dream state we come, because they are Adi to us in our day-to-day life. But once you do a Vaishvanara yoga, you are able to pervade past and get into the creator. That is what, finally we get into that. There only you get Adi Samanvaya and Apti Samanvaya. When you take in this also, when he takes away everything and all, he pervades past all the sentience and all. When you do the yoga, what happens is Sarvam Apitischa. When you get into the highest pragya yoga, you will be able to assess everyone. You will be able to pervade past everyone's thinking. You will be able to pervade past everyone. What is he up to? What is he trying to? What is it? Why he has come to you? Everything you will be able to know. Sarvam apitischa bhavati ye evam veda. See, because this is what, finally you should know. That is what they will know. Evam Veda. Veda in the sense, the most sacred knowledge, that is what it takes. Once you do the pragya, once you do the upasana in all these things, once you have given up the jnana vairagya, so once you have got this jnana and vairagya has come about in the Jagrata Sthana itself, once you continuously do, you become capable of doing that. And that's why on great, whether the Satya Sai Baba, the Shri Sai Baba, they are all, even the Mahaparivar, they can understand why you have come, what purpose you have come, what is in your mind, what is likely to happen. See, there are startling instances when they have come to know the person, because he is at the last lap of his the existence in this world. That they have very subtly, because understood, and they have accordingly, the put the person, in the comfort zone they have gone through. I think you might have seen and you might have read, because there is a book called Devatim Kural, where Mahaparival's all experiences are there. In Raghavendra Swami's life, because so many people have come. Siddhi Sai Baba, he has, because you Sai Charita, you see, he knows when a person is, is because when his soul is likely to leave the earth, because when the jiva is likely to leave, because he knows that. So they all have got that, and you will be able to know everything, whatever is possible within the creations, what God has created. You will not be go past, because you will be able to do. For that, one the example given in Srimad Madhvacharya is सुषुप्तस्थानः प्राज्ञो मकारस्तृतीया मात्राः मितेः अपितिनिर्व मिनोति हवा इदङ्गुं सर्वम् अपितिश्च भवति एवं वेद. For that, he has given a beautiful explanation in the sense. Beautifully, he has given a Brahma Taraka, because Brahma Tarka, because there is a document which is not available, extensively quoted by Srimad Acharya. And in Raghavendra Swami's Kandartha also, it has been brought about. And Vadiraja Swami's Prakashika of Mandukya Upanishad also, it has been brought about. They said when to see, because the atom, it has been proven now scientifically, atom doesn't have this, you got, atom means it has got electron, proton and neutron. That is only 0.01% of it. Rest of it are all 99.99% is empty space. Empty space in the sense it's not vacuum, because it's not, but it is sort of some photon. The
Not able to hear.
It is not there. Internet disruption.
Okay.
disturbance, due to the internet. My voice is audible now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this 99.9 was, it is full of vibration, it's photon. So how an empty atom can occupy another thing? They will not be able to occupy, because how they are able to see, because after all we are all made of atoms only. Atoms are in perpetual motion. That's what we have studied in science. How one atom, which is having a 99.9% space, with an empty space, how it can sort of impact another atom, how it can influence another atom when it comes about. It has been found in quantum physics now. It is full of energy, photon. All of us are in a bundle of energy. We are also supposed to be 0.1% of this form, this body, eyes, ears, and all. We are only 1%. Rest of it are all supposed to be, we are all vibrations. Vibration is nothing but our thoughts. Our thoughts, what we are thinking, what we are, trying to do, because constantly we are having it. And when you are in the waking state, when you are completely thinking, even when you are in a dream, when you are thinking, you are a vibration per se yourself. Sometimes, a dream, you will get a solution for that. That is, you are able to pervade past, because someone was to do you something, or you have got some obligations to be taken from someone, or you have to, you are obliged to someone when you have to do all those things. What you have to do, how you have to do, everything comes to you in your dream. But sometimes you are aware of it, sometimes you are not aware of it. But when you are doing it with a sincerity of purpose, you are able to do it so perfectly. Let me tell you, there are so many occasions we have been perfectly done and warded off lot of consequences which we are not aware, or even when we are aware, we immediately forget, because for us everything is temporary. If something means materially to us, we remember. I constructed this house 1998, we can remember. But while constructing the house, how many times, you didn't get a cement, how many times, the engineer, he had to go for something else, how many times, there was a mishap which has been set right, you will not remember all those things. At that point of time, it would have occupied your mind. Now it is no more relevant. But we all should understand the grace of the God, the vibration has come about and helped us at that particular point of time. We had the sincerity of the purpose. We had the sincerity of a purpose of constructing the house. Okay, for us it is okay, but we have put all our, we have not thought about, we had the resources, we try to use it as effectively as possible and try to make it. At that point of time, so those things, you may not be remembering. Someone, some mason or some engineer meets you after some time. Do you remember that, how the problem was there? How do we solve? But it may not mean much to you. You constructed your house, you come and started living. But at that point of time, that would have been a very big problem. Likewise, it's not that you have to remember everything. Upasmriti, are you able to hear? Voice is okay? Yeah, it is audible. You will not be able to do that, and because when you are able to, you don't have to remember. But then if you carry the gratitude for everything while going to sleep in the night, let me pray to the Almighty for the gratitude for whatever He has done today or till today. You want to see that whether you remember or not, you are expressing it through Him. You are expressing it to so many people who have helped. So it has happened to me. Someone who has not met me for years, he gives me a call and telling a small help possibly I have made. It's not a help which is in my capacity I might have done. That's all. Nothing more than that. But he remembers that and do it. And how many times I have done, because sometimes I do remember. I try to get in touch with them and tell. Because that is the great gratitude, that gratitude comes because everywhere the grace of the God is there. It's not only the grace of God for you. The grace of God should have been with the engineer also, so that he comes in time when you are needing him. So likewise, the like everything it happens. These are all happening because the sincerity of the purpose, when we are having are not our own intentions and our own welfare, but we are working towards a purpose, greater purpose with so many people together. These are all that yoga. We may not be consciously doing it. But when you are having a sincerity of purpose, every time when you are doing it, fully attentive to that, He gives you that particular. You see, you will be able to do something because so many times you might be seeing, in some big organization when you are putting up a big project, you may be thinking, you have sort of come to a standstill. You come to a wall. Nothing is going to move. So then someone, because your boss or someone senior colleague sitting in the headquarters, he having experienced all those things, he will be able to visualize and he will debottleneck, that, and finally the project will again go on. How he gets, he is not in your place, he goes by what you say only, but he is able to perceive this possibly might have happened. How he gets that thought, that is again the Vaishvanara Taijasa yoga only. That happens, when you are totally into the what we are doing every day, when we do attentively, that all becomes the yoga. So constantly when you are trying to without any sort of ill will, equanimity, you are dealing with everyone. You be rest assured, if you are giving any small suggestion, that would be the most equitable suggestion anyone could have given this world. That is the level, because this it says, don't have, because very often, we are all controlled by the emotion. The thought, is from the brain, the emotion is from the heart. And it's also part of the brain only. Emotion comes again from the part of the brain, amygdala, from there it comes. But when you are getting, because the coherence is there between your thoughts and the emotion, that creates the highest possible, because when your senior is trying to look into the problem and giving you suggestions. He is dispassionate. He's not bothering about, this man would have done it, that would have happened and all. He says what exactly would have happened, what is the solution possible. He doesn't go by ill will or, because I know this man is not a good worker, that fellow is a sincere. He doesn't go by all those things. He goes by what exactly could have happened, what should be done, without any reference to a person, or he reference only to the purpose. That is the greatness of thing. This is exactly the Sushuptasthana Pragyo Makaras Tritiya Matra Mitehe Apatinirva Minoti Hava Idagam Sarvam Apitischa Bhavatiya Evam Vedaha. This is what it is. See, this has got a philosophical intonation also. When the entire world is created, when we are again, again and again taking a birth, based on our karmas and all. It is happening, mainly because our karmas, nichocha bhavam gataha, we have to come and exhaust our prarabdha karma. Till such time, prarabdha karma becomes nil. That happens only to sages and saints. Because they don't have any prarabdha karma, because there is no sanchayita, because they have come into this world with the sanchayita karma, they have to come here and they exhaust the prarabdha karma at a particular point of time. Afterwards, no more karma is added. It is only for everyone. Mantralayam, because God doesn't want anything from you. Everyone goes there because you have got something to get from there. Shirdi people don't go there, because you have to get something like that, because you go to the places like that, or you go and meet a great saint or sage, or a person who can sort of, they mitigate your immediate issues, even someone otherwise in our private life or public life. You go to him, but he tries to give you what is that, and equitably when he gives, he gets it to you. That is the highest status, a person can. What is the highest achievement? Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham, in the sense Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham finally gives it to you that. So because till such time we were in the waking world and go, because enjoying ourselves, with all the material comforts, as slowly each one loses its meaning. You may have a meaning, when you first had an air conditioner. Now I think, you don't, even if air conditioner is there, you won't prefer to use it, it's not good for health and all those things, we know that. We don't go at that point of time. We had, it was an item of luxury. It was an identification of your acquisition also was there at that point of time. It has become a necessity in most of the places because the climate has been spoiled collectively by all of us. We will have to manage ourselves to live through, and that's how it has come. It has become a necessity. Every luxury becomes a necessity when we lose the sustainability. When it is sustainable, you don't need anything. Even now, in some places are there, you don't need any air conditioners. Luckily, they are still there. Not for long. They will also be spoiled. See, we were in a place called Udaipur in Rajasthan. They said, 25 years, 30 years before, you don't need even a fan there. It was such a wonderful place. Today, without the central air conditioning, no one is living there. That is how, it has changed. It is like that, because as what happens, once you deal with the entire world, if they go with a great purpose and all, the entire world will be in equanimity. Because it's not only for our equanimity, it is equanimity with all the insentients also, all the flora and fauna also. That's what has been Upanishad has been telling, because why we say Vanaspatiya Shanti, why we say Vanaspatiya Shanti, unless Vanaspati is Shanti, we will not be Shanti. Not only that, and it is our duty to keep Vanaspati Shanti. So that is how in Veda, one of the greatest Uchadana is for Vanaspati Shanti. When we everything Atma, Paramatma, when we say everything, Vanaspati is also very important. Agni, Varuna, Vayu, everything, we also consider that. So this is what exactly this Avu Ma says. And we will just cover the Avu Ma. It has got the concept, because in Advaita, Avu Ma is, they are representing the letters. Finally, they are taken together. They are all submerged into Om. They are all being part of the Om, and it has got no other thing, because they are part of it. Therefore, it is the part of the power of the consciousness only that acts in all the three states. In Advaita consciousness, Brahman, the God is there. Even God is supposed to be illumined by the consciousness only. That is the concept in Advaita. In the sense, for us, creation is, God is omnipotent, omniscient, he can be Icha Matram Prabho, we have seen in Brahmadrishtam. Once he says, it can be created. Whereas in Advaita, it is yata drishti tata srishti. It is the mind, which creates everything. The entire creation is the work of the mind illumined by the consciousness. The consciousness is even beyond, because even before creation, consciousness was there. See, that is the idea behind that. That is the philosophical construct, to greater purpose, so that you understand, you give up and all those things. But if you see the current world in which we are living, we are all in the Vyavaharika world. We can't go to that, the Paramarthika level, where, to understand that and to give up and all, because that is, then no one need have any wants. The world has to survive in the sense, if economy has to survive in the sense, there should be a demand. The demand should have the supply. The people will have to work for the supply, and unless the demand is there, the supply will not be there, your economy will not grow. GDP, the gross domestic product, and GNP and all those things, comes out of that. It is a Vyavaharika world. In that Paramarthika world, there is no demand, so there is no requirement to any supply. So you are given everything out and all. That is the level, because it was possible, because people had taken that very highest level. They are far and few between. That also says it is not possible everyone, only few have done. But coming to that, our current level of, the understanding of this Karika, this is where the Avu, Ma and Nada Upasana is the greatest significance given by all the Acharyas. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya. In Shankaracharya, I think they said you have to go for the finally Turiya. Once you get Turiya, all these things become insignificant because they are already part of it. Of course, the Turiya only, the consciousness only acts in everything. In Tattvavada, in particularly in Madhvacharya, he has given Avu Ma. I think long before we sort of, they gave an allusion to how, alluding, how Avu Ma Nada relates to what the great Acharya said. See, the famous story goes, Jaya and Vijaya, they had to take incarnation in this world because they have not allowed Sanat Kumara to get across to Mahavishnu in Vaikuntha. He has not opened the door. And Sanat Kumara is a great souls. They are all the divine souls. But they said, because if you do that, then you will have to pay for it. You will become Rakshasas and pay for it. So Jaya Vijaya, who are the gatekeepers, they went to Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu said, look, I can't do anything, once they have said. You have to maintain the integrity of Sapeshu, Kopeshu, Anugraha. Because through that, you get something Anugraha. Because Shapa, when it is given, in these circumstances by the sages of that nature, and Kopa, when it comes, Dhruvasa, when he says, it's all for finally you get an Anugraha out of that. Agalya, when she got the, because Shapa, she will be like a stone. She was not a stone, which we have explained earlier. She was Adrishya, because she became invisible to others. Till such time, the Rama's feet, touched on that stone. She has not become a stone, because the concept in Tattvavada is a Jada can't become a Chetna, because Jada is these all stones and all Jada. They don't have any Chitta. Chetna is there. Not there. Whereas, we beings, whether it is sentient or insentient, the flora or fauna, and we have got Chetna. Chetna is Chetna and Jada coming. That's why we have got Panchabedas. We have got the Panchabedas when we have got inherent, because Jada can't have the Chetna. And whereas in other philosophies and all, the God himself has become everything and all, because God himself has become a rock or stone or anything. It's not that he has become a rock or stone. He has become the substratum of the rock. Rock is for rock formation. How it happens? When there is a fault in the earth. When the fault in the earth, you have to go you have to go regress deep into that. In the fault in the earth, how it has to, there is a pressure, there is a mantle, there is all those things comes in. Finally, how it causes it is Paramatma, the Satyam, he causes it, the Brahman causes it. So they are all having a substratum of Paramatma. So rock formation is now. But millions of years, it must have been part of the seabed. From there, it has become a rock now. Likewise, you have to go through. In Tattvavada, we go by exactly the nature of all the Panchabedas. All the Panchabedas, Jada, and because the person to person, Atma to Atma, there is a difference. Because in other philosophy, Advaita philosophy, there is only one Atma. is manifesting into variety of things, under which, the substratum of Paramatma is there. Because you regress and go to the source of it, you will find, like hot potato. It is not hot because a potato is hot, because the potato is hot because of the water. Water is hot because of the fuel. Fuel is because the vessel is hot because of the fuel. Fuel is hot because of the wood. Wood again has come from forest again. It's likewise, in Advaita goes to that line of thinking. Whereas in Tattvavada, what is being considered is a Jada and Chetana can't become one and the same. And that is the concept, that is the primordial difference that is there right from the beginning. Adi, from there it has come. So from that point of view, since coming to back to our story, in Jaya Vijaya, they have to come into this world. When they have come into this world, they come as a Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha, he took away the entire the earth, and he kept hidden it, and then the Vishnu had to take the Varaha Avatara to bring. So the Varaha Avatara is supposed to be supreme because he has recovered the earth from Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were brothers. The Hiranyaksha was a very great soul. He was also, he has done a lot of tapas and all those things he has done. That's how he got the powers and all. He took away the earth and he hidden it. So therefore, when Hiranyaksha was done, that is where the Nada comes. That is considered to be Nada. That is Turiya stage. And coming to one level, coming to this, Hiranyakashipu is also a very good soul to start with. In fact, when Hiranyaksha was killed, because finally the earth was recovered by Varaha Avatara, he was trying to console his sister-in-law, Hiranyaksha's wife. Don't worry, the soul has to go sometime. It has got an end. He is permanent. Only Deha has gone and all those things, he said. But while doing that, he got a small fear. I think I am also having a Dega, and if I also kill or something like that, what happens? Then only he does tapas and gets the boon from Brahma. I should have a nityatva. I should never be, I should be always alive. But Brahma said, I can't be giving you that particular boon. I'm not permanent. If the Magha Yuga is over, there may be another Brahma. I think, I can't do that. And you ask for next best thing. Anything else? And then he wanted the next best thing. I should not be killed in the day. I should not be killed in the night. I should not be killed by a man. I should not be killed by an animal. And all those things, he said. Finally, Narasimha Avatara was there. Finally, he was killed. That Ma is considered to be. The Ma is the one where everything, whatever you try to, because the Pragya, you are totally under his control. Whatever you want to, do yourself, to get yourself the highest power, but you have to be in his control to prove that the Ma has come. The Hiranyakashipu was killed. So the Acharya gave the Nada Upasana, Varaha Upasana to Vishnu Tirtha. Vishnu Tirtha is, Purvashrama is the brother of Madhvacharya. He was a great sannyasi. And he was totally devoted. He is a Vairagi. So finally, because you have to do Varaha, to do puja, you need such a high quality, because you will not be able to do that, and it was given to him. So Ma, it is, when it happened, Narasimha Avatara, when it was there, and there is one Ramatirtha, who is the original Sishya of Madhvacharya, it was given to him. Coming to Wu was considered to be, we said, because how great things have, because how can be achieved. Utkarshata, Ubayatvata, the Swapnasthana, when it represents the Ramavatara. First is Satyagva, Kritayuga, and because then the corresponding only, it takes Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu and all. The coming to the next is Tretayuga, wherein Ramavatara was there. At that time, Kumbhakarna and Ravana are supposed to have been the manifestation of Jaya and Vijaya. So there, when Rama finally has got annihilated, this Rama Upasana, he gave it to Narahari Tirtha and Padmanabha Tirtha. Two of his disciples, he gave it to them. Because when you do in Narahari Tirtha, Padmanabha Tirtha, when he has given it, the lineage of all sages and saints, because they are all, both of them were initially followers of Advaita. One is Somadatta and another one was also having a different name. Both of them, when they interacted with the Srimad Acharya, and because they finally got fully involved and they taken the philosophy to the core. In fact, they have done very great sort of a granthas in this. And he gave it to them, because Ramavata in the lineage, whoever is there, because in their lineage, there should be line of sages, who should be coming for times to come. That's why one of the greatest thing you will find, because in the Tattvavada, you got line of acharyas, Jaitirtha. After that, because after 2 generations of acharya, Jaitirtha was there, and then afterward Vadaraja was there, and Raghavendra Swami was there. Afterwards, Raghuttama Swami was there, and then we have got Vijayendra Tirtha was there, and then you have got Raghavendra Swami is there, and then Vyasa Tirtha was there, and Sripada Raja, because all full lineage of all these acharyas have come because you do the upasana. This is the effect of it. So that's how here given that. Then coming to the is where Shishupala and Dandavarga. So when both of them, because they had to be annihilated, the Purnavatara, Krishna had come. The Krishna, when he had come, he has not the Krishna Avatara, because he has not given the Krishna in his full-fledged, the power, and he came Balakrishna. Balakrishna is full of innocence. You might be remembering Ukti Pratyukta Stotra of Vadiraja. We discussed in it during Kenopanishadam, where Krishna is embodiment of innocence. He doesn't have anything. He's like a small child playing in the lap of her mother. That is because when gopis are, so they are all cunning and they can be so sort of satirical. He was innocence personified. That's why that Balakrishna, he gave it to those Matadhipatis who are there in Adamar Mata and all, who are done the original, because they're gurus. It was given by them. So all the upasana he divided in that sense. The Om alone can be done, but each akshara has got so much of importance. It has to be done. It has got a purpose. That's why in Puja Vidhi, if you see, in Udupi it is something different, and because other places it is different because of the upasanas. The niyamas, what is there and all. One of the greatest thing which still being talked about is in Udupi. Even after the entire puja is performed, when Naivedyam has to be done, the particular Swamiji who is in the Paryaya, he keeps all the Naivedyas, everything prepared. He comes out, he closes the door. The idea is Srimad Madhvacharya himself offers as Hanuma, Bhima and Madhva to the God, to all the 3 incarnations. After that they get the vibration, then they open it and then it's. That's why they say in Udupi, when you go and take the prasadam, it is the prasadam offered by Srimad Madhvacharya to the Udupi Krishna and Rama and Bhima, everything is embodied. And the Madhvacharya himself gives it here for Vedavyasa and others. So this is the concept in which it is. See, Avu Ma is not simple letters. It is the source of the highest power that can be independently taken to the level in which entire humanity can be elevated. So that is the sort of the connotation given, and we have taken it. In others also, all the 3 states are considered, but they are all being considered like a quarter of a coin. If you take a 1 rupee coin, you can't differentiate which is 25 paise out of this one. They are all one coin. The same consciousness, comes in different dimensions in Jagrutasthana, Swapnasthana and Pragya, Sushuptasthana. Whereas here in Tattvavada, it has been taken to the very high, great height, because basically this is to bring about how the evolution takes place. Each upasana has got its own lineage. In Udupi, because you will find, because they are all like, they are dealing with the Balakrishna, like a child. They will not have too much of a rigorous routines, rituals and all. Whereas, if you come to Ram in Wu, because where Padmanabha Tirtha, Narahari Tirtha, in fact, Mularama is there in Uttradhimat and Mantralayam and all, you will find the rigors of, the upasanas are different. And if you get Ramatirtha, Narasimha Upasana is still there. And I think, in that month, if you go and see, that is very, very sort of a strenuous. You got to maintain in your austerity to the highest core that is there. Varaha Avatara is very, it is only, some in Udupi it is there where Vishnu Tirthas, that particular there, and Acharyas in turn go and do it. And that is the highest. That's how we have given it. And he said, you follow all these upasana because it is for the upasanas followed by all these acharyas for what? For the elevation of the mankind. The Om itself is a mystic syllable. It has got the 8 connotations. Of the 8 connotations, the major connotations are A, Um, and Nada. Once it is done, the welfare of the full universe, and as well as the elevation of the full universe, and the knowledge which can be preserved, the entire knowledge has to be preserved because the knowledge should not be lost. The avidya will be there, and that is why all the 4 upasanas have been established by Srimad Madhvacharya, giving the significance to all the letters what it is. And we have seen the third kanda, the 4 slokas, giving us the sort of the great meaning of all these, all the 3, because we have not seen Nada. Nada is going to come in 4th kanda only. For all these 3, the 4 mantras in the kanda number 3, we have got the Brahmadrishtam of 9 mantras are there. In all possibilities, next session we will take the 9 mantras, because the subtle points of all these 4 are being pointed out in this 9 mantras. It has got a great takeaway for us. Takeaway for our day-to-day living, that we will see next session. With this, I will try to bring, this. Today is this one, and maybe then after that, we will go for a small meditation. I'll formally close it. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahaihi, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now I will just take meditation. I will just put this one. In the meanwhile, I think as Vidya has informed, she has started the meditation sessions on, and Prabhu perhaps he attended that, and it's the last Sunday onward, 6 to 6:15. I will request her to tell what is she is focusing and how she is going about, because already now she is involved with her group, to one big hospital is there, KIMS in Hyderabad. All the doctors and nurses, they've got about 12 units, comprising more than about 1,000 people. They are being, given some sort of a meditative technique so that, they can work, to face the challenges in the medical profession. I will ask her to tell a few things. In the meanwhile, I will take the meditation.